Good morning. I'm here with this beehive that has a bee escape on it, and the bees should have mostly left the honey super by now, but I'll find out. Here we go. I've already smoked myself and smoked the two beehives. If anybody's in here, they'll be pretty sad for being in there 3 days without finding a way out. Usually it's the drones that are left because they're too fat, they can't get out. But this is great. There's no sound at all up here, so most of the bees have left, just like I hoped. Yeah, a few bees, the diehards. Watch out, puppy. Stay away. Yeah, so just a couple bees and honey. What a civilized way of getting honey from a hive. I could even sit you here, I think. So we separate the comb from each other and then take them out one at a time. You know, a lot of the intelligence of doing this hobby is picking the day to work, which really is hard to explain. This time of year, normally you wouldn't think you should go into a beehive, but this happens to be a great year. So to see what I just did, I put the comb in another place over here and cover it so no bee that discovers it will be able to get at it. Of course, I'm in a bit of a hurry because I don't want this honey out in the air for very long, but you've got to be able to see how lovely that is. So lovely. The beekeeper has to be aware of who is discovering open honey and make sure nobody gets upset about it. So after this next comb, I'm going to put this little cover on just to keep the casual observer away. There may be bees from another hive that stop by to say, "What's going on here? I smell something good." And we could start a little war. Or even the bees from the very hive I'm taking the honey from. They could smell the honey and think someone's being robbed, and they could all start going crazy, attacking the neighboring hive that isn't doing anything. But the honey smell in the air, if it's the wrong time of year or the wrong day, just the honey smell in the air could make a war commence, and then the poor beekeeper is stuck there watching his own bees kill each other, all because of his bumbling efforts. The bumbling beekeeper is the greatest danger to a beehive. It's amazing the kind of good mood these bees are in, that I can brush them off like this and they're not at all angry. They're totally willing to give me what I'm doing here. So I'll change location and now work on that side. As I said yesterday, I'm only taking honey because I know there's honey down below. And it's also not the autumn season yet. There's another whole honey crop coming in August, September, October. A lot of the intelligence of being a beekeeper, it comes over years of ruining bee colonies because you take too much. Many first-year beekeepers, they just take way too much honey from their bees, and the bees die that winter because they didn't have enough to live by. Watch out, buddy. You go on. The bees. My dog's a little close there. I'm talking to him. You go on. Once bees have taken a dislike to a dog, they remember him, and every single time he would come, they would be mean to him. I don't don't want that to start. Two more frames left. We're getting down here, just a couple frames left. Only here and there a bee. A couple hive beetles, but here in Texas hive beetles aren't as great a threat as they are in the north. Seems like in the north they have such great crops of honey, but they also have amazing pests and parasites of the bee. The hive beetle up there is so much more powerful. Down here it simply lives with the bees and doesn't really cause any trouble at all. So there, I've got the 10 honey frames are now safely packed away there on the ground. Here's the what's left of this empty honey super now. So I'll take the top super off here. There's a hive beetle, I'll show you. Right there, two in the corner here. It's good to crush them and then let the bees experience the dead body of the predator, the pest. Many of these pests, like a wax moth or a hive beetle, they smell exactly right for the beehive. The bees do not know there's a predator or a pest. They smell exactly correct. So a beekeeper can teach the bee that there's an invasion going on by squashing the pest and dropping it into the beehive, so they can feel and smell the dying pest. The dying pest doesn't smell correct, it smells wrong. So they will be able to learn that there is an infestation. Let's put this down for a minute because I have to smoke under here. Under here there's going to be lots of bees. So I'll smoke in the hole there. Keep my smoker going. Keeping the smoker going is one of the hardest things about beekeeping, if you want to know the truth. At least that's what I find from the people I work with. They are constantly making it go out. I've killed about 10 hive beetles here. There we go. So let's see what the mood is inside the actual hive here. I hope you can see this. This will be a good picture. Hello, yes, lots of bees. Hello, good morning. Good morning. There's a lovely butterfly sitting right by the camera, but it's out of the field of view. So these bees were the ones that just came out of the honey super and they were trying to get back in, or they were up on the roof for whatever reason. I'm smoking abundantly here only because I'm driving them downward. You don't want to smoke down below because then they'll come upward. I want them all to go back home. But anyway, this is a much more civilized method than people use. Forced air. They'll blow all the bees out with air. It only takes a moment and it's for commercial use. Very quick. Also, there's a chemical that you put on a cloth and it's so stinky that the bees run out of the honey super. But both those methods are pretty violent in comparison. This one, I find the bees aren't very disturbed at all. When this gets down to a manageable number, I can put it aside and then brush them out in a minute or two. Many wait, if you notice. Many bees stop and give off a scent saying, home is this way. If you can see, there are several that have stopped there. And they're saying home is this way. They're giving off a scent at their abdomen, pointing the direction. And so at the very end of something like this, you have all the bees left are the ones saying, home is this way, come on, follow me. All the heroes are left, and all the civilians have passed by. I'll brush these guys out. There you go. There you go. Oh no. If you do this right, if there is anger, it's anger at the brush and not at the hand or the face. So what's left here is the empty super that was allowing the bees to get out, plus the new super of comb I put on 3 days ago, which the bees have totally taken possession of and are working at the moment. I'll brush these out. No angry yet, and maybe one angry bee here and there. Take a look in here. They've fully moved into these two. But I'll close everything up now, and we're all set. Take home this 30 pounds of honey, extract it. Thank you. So I've got the honey in the truck. I was just remembering when I started out, the bees were so angry with me after anything I did with them. It would be days before I could go near their hive. But here I am, just 5 minutes after taking honey from these bees. And there's not a single bee here that's mad at me. I think it's over the long term, they get used to the fact that when I come, I usually help. Either I kill some ants or I give them more space. And so they just let me be their keeper. Anyway, Asua, where are you? There we go. Hip. There he goes. All right, bye-bye.